What's up, you guys? Today I'm doing a Q&A. As I promised, I posted a poll on Instagram and asked you guys who had like design related, life related questions, any questions in general. So in this video, I'm just gonna try answer all these questions. By the way, this is the first Q&A ever on this channel, and this means the channel is becoming a YouTube channel. You know that cliche of Q&As? So yeah, so if you do it, that means you grown to become a channel that has a lot of questions that either you can't answer individually or you just feel, something when you do a video about it. So let me just dive in right away. So the first question comes from Mr. Nanayo. I hope I pronounced this right. Sorry if I butcher your name. But he goes on to ask, is designing and development the only source of income? If the question is development and designing is my own source of income, I would say no, not at all. So I design, first of all, that's the main primary source of income ever since I started this design career. So most of you guys who don't know, I'm a brand product designer. So being a brand product designer kind of gives you superpowers. I get to design a brand from scratch. Most times I work on rebrands. I get to design things from logos and help brands with strategies. Sometimes I go even a mile to help them with their marketing and positioning strategies. But when it comes to product design, I help companies design their websites, their online presence, like digitally. If it's a mobile product or a website, they call me for that. So in a nutshell, I don't develop, but for some reason, like this year, a friend of mine who was an engineer, name is called Colin, he recommended me to start learning code, so I started learning HTML. Well, I've learned HTML for the last, I don't know how long. I know some basics, but this time around, I want to learn all front end, development. That means I'm gonna be learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Yeah, so any other source of income besides that? Yes, of course. I'm a trader. I enjoy, the business of here's the good, give me the money, well done, that kind of thing. I enjoy it. My wife runs more of like an online business. We enjoy selling products. She sells our products. So that's more of like the other side of things. But also, I'm getting into crypto. I've started learning this December, and it's not too late. Like, I'll be honest, like, you need to learn right now and just dive in, get your hands dirty. So those are my main sources of income. So crypto minus crypto, that is not a source of income yet. And one thing that is surprising that I should mention is this YouTube channel. So this YouTube channel, if I'm exact, this year only I made about like $5,000 out of like sponsored videos. That is quite really huge at the level of my channel. So that is another source of income. So development is not one of the things I do to make money. If development in Webflow is considered as development, then yeah, I would say yes, because people call it development. So you got another question. He's been following me for some good time and he wants to know whether I work from home fully. 100% I work from home. So I think in mid 2018 I quit my full-time job as an art director for an agency, and I started working from home ever since. I don't know, I don't mesh with co-working spaces. I feel I need my solitary time. And the concept of co-working spaces is inviting other people to be in one room. I'm a bit introverted, so that doesn't, it's not my jam. I just don't dig it. But yeah, I work from home 100%. It's another question from Elvin. I hope I pronounced that right. Have you created any of your own fonts? Wow, that is a good question. And the best way I can answer it, I've designed this typography for some good time that imposter syndrome and all that kind of thing kind of got in the way, and I paused that project. But trust me, like, I'm almost close. Like, I think I don't know, 1% close to designing my own font. And there are quite so many tools that can help you really design a font in a tool like Illustrator, if Illustrator is your environment. But not yet. I've not published my own font. My bad. A question from Samia. Big up to you, Samia. She's a great sister right there. She goes on to ask, how old are you now and what life teaches you? Right now, so I'm a 1993 kid. So if we do the math, because I always pull out a calculator to just be sure how old am I getting without sounding weird. Let me just do it right now. 2021. Boom. I'm making 28 years in this December. Okay, I made 28 years in December on the 12th. That's my birthday. So for those of you guys who are interested in my age, I'm old as hell. 28 years. 30 years is clocking in. So you guys thought I'm younger? Do I look young? Okay, no worries. Samia, there you have it. Like, I'm 28. Great. So another question. Okay, so she had another question. What life has taught me. This is quite an amazing question. We follow up and I'll try to answer it. So being 28 years, what life has taught me is small moves or small wins kind of compound to a big, grandy win. And this is something that you might actually take for granted, but I can give you like really life examples. For instance, when I started this YouTube channel back in 2018, I didn't have any reasons to start it, but I felt like there was a way of me putting my voice out there. And I decided like it's not easy since I was freelancing, and freelancing comes with a lot of demands, and attention. So what I did, I focused on pushing out one video every month, and that video without fail, I pushed out every month. And I kind of came across like, certain advice that you should try to produce one video every week or 3 videos a month. But honestly, one video, that's what I could, handle, right? So fast forward 2 years, me doing the same thing. This year, I made $5,000 off this YouTube channel that I started out of just, mediocre, right? So if that is not like small, deeds that add up to a big, grandy win, I don't know what it is. Like, if you want to just win at one time, like, chances are you're just gonna break. So imagine if I started like my channel and I want to do like 4 videos every day, or whatever, 4 videos every month. It's not easy, right? And I think for me, life has been like that. Like, I always do things at the pace I can afford, right? Like at a pace that is easy, that doesn't drain my effort from other things. So if I can tell you one thing that life has taught me is small things add up. A terrible habit, like if you start one terrible habit, it might be small, but it will add up like to a crazy habit. So be sure of all things you do, they might be small, but they will add up to something really, really big. So you don't want to be in a situation where this just blows out of proportion. So I think that's the best thing life has taught me, that things don't just happen, things happen just. Moving on to the next question is, what small things can I do every day to better my design skills? Coming from my brother Chris Lutama. So this is quite a challenging question, because I'll try to answer it in the best way possible. So one thing that could, improve your design skills every day, here's the thing, and I'll try to borrow this from my life experience as a designer. I find growth in boredom, right? Like, most of you guys might not understand this, but I value my solitary time more than anything. Like, I always push to get bored. So as a designer, like, you might get distracted by so many things. It's so hard to learn design on Pinterest or YouTube because the noise is too much. But the only thing that can help you really improve your skills, if you can do it every day, if you can have at least a minimum of 3 hours of boredom, right? Like, just boredom, like you just seated there and thinking. Because design is, one of those disciplines that needs you to really, really, really relax and think. Whether you think about the way you design, the way you work, because it's going to help you really think through all the noise and start thinking what relates to you more. And I find this, for me, one of the things that help me really every day to at least understand direction where I should take my career, because it's about that. Like, when you're learning like so many different tools, you don't know which to focus on, so you get mixed up. But when you always like have, like, say, a moment of solitude where you just sit and relax and get bored, it's gonna help you really be creative. It's gonna help you really think things that are exciting to your design career. Like, you might end up designing a font. If you're a photographer, you might realize, like, the way you've been taking photography or the way you've been taking images is not like something that relates to you. You've been on a treadmill, and the best way to jump off is to slow down and think. So I think that's the best advice I can give you. All right, so moving on, another question comes from one and only. I'm just gonna skip this. But yeah, shout out to you. I just can't read this. There's a 7 in between the name. Busina. I don't want to butcher it, but let me just move on to the question. Introduce yourself. I'm a new follower. Well, thanks for following. You can also come and subscribe on the YouTube channel where we do almost most of the things. Yeah. So how do I best introduce myself, right? Great. So my name is Zana, and I'm a brand product designer based in the sweet city of Kampala. Okay, so I bet that gives you a quick introduction to myself. And if you're more interested in the things that interest me, I'm interested more in logo design more than anything. As I mentioned, like, I'm a brand product designer, so I design logos for a living, brand strategies, and all that good stuff. And on top of that, I'm a UI UX designer, if that's the language you understand. And currently, I have a part-time commitment with one of the best universities in Africa. That is Makerere University. I'm part of a research project, and I lead user experience design on this project. So you might ask why I don't talk about user experience design. I think there are quite good channels out there that really, really do this well. And I feel my calling is in line with logo design. I want to at least leave a dent, or at least improve something when it comes to the industry wide of logo design. If that is your jam, or you're interested to see me fascinating with logo design, you can just go ahead and really subscribe even on this YouTube channel. So moving on to the next question. I want to get money, but I would like to know how and which way. This question comes from, let me first find out, Deep Talk. So Deep Talk, I think when you check out her Instagram,
so in this video,
right, she runs something like more of a motivation channel, like helping out people really, get motivated and stay motivated. One thing I'll tell you for sure, if this is something that really excites you, you just need to double down. Like, there is no one formula of making money. And one thing I'll tell you, like, you just need to trust the process. And as I mentioned, like, there's one thing life has taught me, and it has taught me well. You just need to put in the hours. You need to show up every day, not to motivate you to show up every day, but I'm just saying, like, you need to put in small steps towards the big goal you have in your mind. Because if you're trying to achieve that goal in a year, it's going to be hard. For instance, I've wanted to always work on a knowledge product, start teaching people how to design brands and how to design products. But it has been 2 years now, and I think this is the second year, and this thing has not taken off. But I'm calm, because every other month I put in a step that is leading me to this big thing. So That's the only way you can make money. If you want to really make money, you have to grow yourself, and that growth comes with like small steps every other day. That's the best thing I can tell you. If you want to be motivating people, just show up every other day. Just record, a clip every other day. If you're looking otherwise into any other futuristic skills that are really, really lucrative, I would recommend you jump into user experience design, because there is quite a huge demand. And the other skill that doesn't lie, like it doesn't matter whether you're good, eventually you'll start making money, it's logo design. And the reason why logo design is really, really lucrative, like every time you start a business, you want a logo, you want a brand identity, and now we're getting into a metaverse, these virtual environments. Same thing, like nothing's gonna change. You see how like people are designing like avatars, like right center. So for me, when I look at these avatars, the only thing I see is, logo design of the past is coming back. If you guys are familiar with mascots. So this is just like figurative logo design, like they get a face and turn it into something that really is a bit cartoony. So this is still like in line with logo design, like designing someone's identity. So if you learn how to design identities, you're gonna still make money in the metaverse. I don't know whether that makes sense, but like the way you need to think about things is you can observe the skills of the future and then start learning those skills. Or if you're really passionate about something, you just need to show up every other day. I hope this gives you some idea. Okay, so another amazing question comes from one and only, just a second, Luja. I hope that's how you pronounce your name. But she goes ahead to ask, I don't know, like I don't want to get into the pronouns game right now, but yeah, let's just suppose that a follower asked me a question that what am I planning to do with my YouTube channel in the future. Honestly, I have like huge plans for this platform, and one of those plans is to try focus on YouTube. If I could get to a point where I can produce one video every week, that is a big move for me, moving away from one video a month, random videos like after 2 months, like that kind of like inconsistency. Moving to the future, I want to improve and try to produce one video every week. So like if that is not like something that I'm planning to do for the future, I just don't know. But yeah, I think that's what I'm planning. I'm planning to make this really, really something huge, beyond just like showing up like monthly. I want to show up every week. I want this to become part of my life. That's the main thing. And in doing that, this is going to help me impact and help people out there who want to get into the design industry, and just really help people with life, like just sharing like some inspirational stories. So Ali asked me my ambitions in life. This is a good one. Always my ambition in life has been to build something that can inspire the rest of the world. And right now I'm based in Africa, the part of Africa. And when you think about it, like I'm living in a third world country, and my ambition is to change the perception. Because like living in a third world country does not stop you to do whatever you want to do in life. Like you can do first world country stuff in a third world country, right? So that's my ambition. Like it's to try like share thought to other young, I would say entrepreneurs, designers, creators, like photographers, filmmakers, to help them really think beyond their skills and start, building this, growth network. Because for me, I'm all about the network effect. If I can inspire someone to become a designer, then I've done some work. So moving on, so we have a question from, we got so many questions from my Muslim sisters, and I'm loving this. So moving on, she also runs, I think, an Instagram page called Motivation something. Hello, I hope you're doing well. Yes, thank you. Thanks for asking. I'm holding up well. I just want to know, how can someone forget something bad that happened in life? Wow. So, man, this is a hard one, and the best way I can answer it, and this might have worked for me, because if you watched one of the videos I released recently, it's something that I've been having, deep inside me, trying to hold myself back telling this story. In 2012, I lost my beloved sister. She was my, big sister. Like, I think we had a 4 years gap. So I lost her in 2012, and this kind of really put me in a dark corner. But the way I managed to come out, I'll be frank, like, this is pure luck, and I would say I had no control of this. But the only thing I could do is to vessel my anger, my grief, into something that can distract me, right? So one of the things I discovered when you get stuck in a moment, something terrible happens, you lose a loved one, it is so easy to ignore this truth, and you try to cover it up inside and just move on with life. But trust me, that is the terrible way of doing it. You need to embrace this pain. You need to let it really come out. Like, if you want to cry, you just need to cry. You just need to cry it out. Whether you cry out loud, you have to do it. So I think this is something that worked for me, but I bet you should try it. You should let that fear out. You should, if it means shedding tears, please do. Please do shed tears. Don't hold, terrible feelings back. If you have something that can distract you, if you run this Instagram page, wake up every other day and just vessel your energy into this YouTube channel. Nothing is gonna happen. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Thanks for the question, by the way. Thanks for being open and asking me such questions, because this channel is not about design only, because I live the life. I come from like a destitute environment, and growing up as a kid, to this point in life, I just give thanks to Allah, God, whatever you call it. But it's so important to always let the pain touch you. Yeah, so moving on, another question comes from Mariam, and she wants to know what makes a web an amazing, successful website. So I think this is a user experience related question, I would guess. And the best advice I can give you is to try understand your user first. So if your website say deals in say knowledge products, so you cannot just use a template. A template will get you somewhere, because most of the templates are thought through. They use like user mentor models that exist, and most of these designers who come up with templates are professionals. So that could get you somewhere in terms of having like a successful website. But one thing that sits on top of everything, non-colors, non-design, it's you understanding your audience. Because I've seen so many like websites that one might act that this is terrible design, but they work for their users, and maybe the users are from the 90s, and that's the thing they understand, right? So users come at top of the list, you understanding your users well. And I think every other thing is secondary, but users primary. You trying to connect your business to the user. That's what makes your website successful. I hope that answers your question, Mariam. Thanks for the question. Moving on. Yes, I think that's all for the questions. So I think what I'm just gonna do, I'm just gonna go through my YouTube comments really quick and see whether there are questions that I didn't answer or questions that really had. Can you hear the birds? And one thing I love about this place, are the birds. The bird noise, and it's quite really amazing. Unless when you hear my son scream, you can ignore that, and the birds can compensate for that, right? So let me just dive into my YouTube comments right here. Just a second. I'm gonna just go check out one of my most viewed videos. and try to find the comments. So a question here, everyone wants to know, where do I find my clients? This is an amazing question. I've always struggled to answer this question, but one thing I will tell you, most of my clients nowadays come from projects that I've worked on. That might be really hard to make sense of if you're a young designer. But when you're starting, you just need to learn how to market yourself and learn sales. But when you grow and scale up your career and start designing really professional work, most of your work is gonna come from your work, if that relates. So if you design a brand design and the client is happy, you're gonna get 4 clients from this one project. So that's how I get my work. And I could blah blah blah, but I just don't want to do that. I used to grind, struggle to get clients way early on in my career, but right now, honestly, it's that project. So when I get a project and I work on a project, I have to make sure this project is gonna really work as an inbound strategy to get more clients. So that's how I get clients. I hope that answers the question. But if it doesn't, you can let me know. I think that's the best strategy I can give you right now. Focus on the project at hand. That project is gonna get you projects. So if you don't have projects, here's the thing, this is a secret that is gonna help you really get a project, your first project. Don't work on these funny made up projects. Attack a brand. Just in your market. Think of someone, whether it's a coffee shop, whether it's a product in the supermarket. Just go attack that brand, right? And attack the weapons you have as a designer. You design logos, you design websites, you shoot images, you're a filmmaker. Just try to attack a brand, not in a bad way, because it's what we call auditing a brand. You look at their visuals and these are not working. Then put in the effort, create something that works, and then attack them on Twitter, attack them by email, attack them on Instagram. There are so many ways of attacking a brand and make them realize that there's something off whatever they're doing. I hope that will get you your first client. Yeah, so another question, why do designers love coffee? Man, I don't know, but the secret to this, for us who live in a country where weed and... Alright, so I suppose that's it for this video. I will catch you in the next one. For those of you guys who want to buy me a cup of coffee, here's a link in the description. You just go click on that link, buy me a cup of coffee. Will take you to a page where you just put in your payment details, nothing else. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy New Year, guys. I hope you guys are excited about next week, which I suppose is the New Year. Yeah, it's been great. We've done what we could this year, so don't beat up yourself because something didn't happen or something really terrible happened this year. Try to let that pain, out. Don't hold the pain in, and hope for the best. This year is